So Ansu, hello, welcome to the podcast. We're delighted to have you on.
Thank you so much, Charlotte.
Okay, so I do have to say, first and foremost, I am very curious about your job title as a concrete technologist. Now, I don't think, I've never come across this before, and I don't know if many of our listeners have, so I have so many questions, but I can't wait to unpack them all with you. So on that note, let's get started.
Okay.
Well, so Ansu, before we kick off with what you're doing in your KTP project, we do have to know, what exactly is a concrete technologist?
Okay. Concrete technologist is actually someone who works on the mixed design on making a concrete work, and it's also about understanding the technical uncertainties which comes along while batching the concrete in a plant, the different water to cement ratios, that's actually the amount of water added in. Is it actually low, is it high? And then the properties, the rheological properties of the concrete, that's actually like the slump flow, which is actually the workability basically, so how well it works. It's also like developing a mixed design based on the requirements of the project that the client wants us to do. So that's actually basically what a concrete technologist does. And in my case, associated with the KTP project, I'm actually working as a low carbon concrete technologist. So I focus more on the research and development side of things, where I'm trying to bring down the carbon footprint in the precast solutions. That's actually by replacing the cement from the concrete and replacing it with other materials which has properties similar to that of concrete but has less carbon dioxide emission. So that's exactly what I do.
There's so many different technical elements to your job there, and I guess just on a day-to-day basis, what sort of things you get up to?
So the first thing, what I do when I reach in the company, so I work more in the company premises more than in the university. So when I actually reach there, the first thing I would do is like go around the factory and see how the production is actually going on. So if the batching team, so batching plant is actually where the concrete gets mixed and it's actually transported. So I would go to the batching plant and try to find out if they're having any troubleshooting issues or stuff or any problems with the concrete, try to like help them out and talk through all the stuff. And I would actually go and see all the products which has been casted on the previous day. So our company is more like a precast company. So our target is actually to get out the products within a span of 16 hours to 24 hours after the product is actually poured. So we'd just go around looking and see the issues with the concrete. It would be like so many separation lines, which is like the wavy lines on the concrete and stuff like that. So try to like tell the batching this is actually what we should do, and try to like sort out the issues, and so that we could actually make better concrete and then work on the research and development side of things. So I have made a small lab and all in my company premises. Sometimes I actually look like a math scientist with my lab coat and all. I don't think they have seen anyone wearing like a lab coat and all before.
I love
so I have got my own beakers and glass rods and stuff like that.
Excellent.
So I keep on mixing and doing the bindings. So I work a lot on that side of things throughout the day and work on the reports and stuff like that, and mails, and report to my seniors on the progress of the work I'm doing.
That's so interesting, but it's so busy though. Like your days sound absolutely jam-packed. But I guess if you enjoy what you do, then it should be great.
Yeah.
Amazing. The company that you work with, or your company partner in this project, is More Concrete. Can you tell us a little bit about that company?
So More Concrete is actually a precast company based in Ballymena in Northern Ireland. So what they focus on is the agri and civil products. So when I say civil products, it's more like big arches, bibos, and platform units and stuff like that, and many more. We are proud to be one of the 3 leading precast companies based in UK to have a science-based target. The main idea of science-based target is like the companies which focus on the emissions. That's actually the Scope 1, Scope 2, and Scope 3 emissions based on the Paris Agreement, which is actually to bring down the carbon footprint emissions by the year of 2030 and completely mitigate the carbon emissions by the year of 2050. So the Scope 1, Scope 2, and Scope 3 emissions is like the direct emissions and the indirect emissions, which we actually contribute directly and indirectly as a company. So that's actually what we focus on. So we have the dedicated budget and a couple of dedicated people who work on calculating the emissions and stuff, so that whenever a client comes in and asks us like what you have done as a company to mitigate the carbon footprint and stuff, we could actually produce that results. And so we are actually one of the companies to have that dedicated target and stuff here.
Oh, wow, that's incredible. What would you say are the main challenges that the industry is facing at the moment with this?
So construction industry is like a booming industry, like always. And every day new buildings are being placed and made. And cement is actually one of the main materials we use in the construction industry for making concrete. And cement is actually one of the second most material used in the world after water by people. And the cement production involves almost 8% of the total global carbon dioxide emission, which is like a big amount when we compare the total global emissions. So because of that fact, increasing interest or trend have been found in the industry to bring down the carbon dioxide emissions. So that's actually by replacing the cement in the system with alternative materials which do have the properties similar to that of cement. But the industries are not ready to completely adapt that because of the fact that it's the traditional Portland cement, which we have been using for like so many years. So there have been studies and researches, but still the complete replacement is actually not yet like a, acceptable. And there's actually not definite standards which defines what we should be doing. So still research is going on, but that's actually the current trend now. Everyone is really focused on bringing the carbon footprint in their industry.
I mean, sustainability is undeniably then a top priority in today's world and within KTP alone. And if we look at the business leaders here as well, I think it really underscores the significant attention they're directing towards creating a more sustainable and resilient built environment for both the current and future generations. But for yourself, why are these issues important to you?
Okay, so when I started my career first, like I would like to say when I did my project first, like during my master's, it was something related to low carbon cement systems. I didn't actually know that concrete had anything more than cement, sand and stone, and I really didn't know that cement contributed so much carbon footprint to the environment as a whole. And of course, due to the greenhouse gases and emissions, there's actually like a whole lot of issues globally, the global warming and melting of glaciers and stuff like that. So we really don't know the impact it is actually contributing, because we are like, it's not like a physical stuff, but still it's like we like globally as a large contributor of carbon dioxide by the industry itself, it's actually causing so many issues in long run. And we have been having this issue for like so many years, but the concerns are like increasing now. So as a person who's actually working in the industry, and for myself, I feel like if I can actually contribute to something by myself, that would be like not a small, it would be like a small impact, but at least I could actually start at a point and do it like in a greater way. So it's like I start this as like a point where I'm beginning to do like a big journey, and bring so many people along with me in the journey, where I could actually contribute something great to the whole society as a whole and to the community. So yeah,
100%. It's not about changing the world in one day. It's about
yeah. Rome was
things.
never built in one day.
Exactly. So then how can we expect sustainability to be perfect in one day? And just hearing a bit about your journey and your project, what you're currently doing, how did you actually end up as a KTP Associate for Queen's University Belfast?
Oh, that's an interesting question, to be honest. Well, I never actually knew that I was actually going to be like a concrete technologist 5 years back, because I was always like interested in nanoscience and stuff like that when I was doing my first master's in chemistry. But I always wanted to be not on the organic side of things in chemistry, but more like materials and stuff like that. So that's actually how I joined material science and engineering in Queen's. And then for my thesis project, I actually got geopolymers, which I thought like it's like a polymer. But then when I got into the project, I knew that it's actually to do with concrete. So that's actually the point where I started to learn about concrete.
Oh, okay.
So that, and when I did that project, I was like, okay, I really don't know what I'm going to do next, because my background and everything is actually completely different. But the thing was like, I was really passionate about doing my project at that time. I was like so interested in doing and like working with the concrete. I really enjoyed that time. So deep in my mind, I knew that okay, if I actually pursue something which is related to the concrete and research and development side of things, I had a feeling like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be able to like make it happen and do things in a more, you know, enthusiastic way. So I had a passion for it deep in my mind. So near to the end of my project, I actually got a mail from the KTP people, talking like it was not a direct mail, it was sent to everyone,
Yeah.
just in a normal way. So I just saw this project and I was like, wow, this is so much to what I can relate, and it's so much related to like what I have done for my thesis. Not completely, but in some ways it was related. And a couple of my friends also suggested me like, well, I think you should look into that project because it just aligns with your principles and what you're doing. So I was like, okay, I'll just give it a try. And went through a couple of stages of interviews and meetings and stuff, and yeah, here I am, 1.5 years into my project,
And still
working as
loving
a
it.
concrete technologist, and still love it.
So you're almost halfway through your 3-year project, which is a very exciting time to be at. So what advice would you give to other graduates in Belfast who are thinking about doing a KTP?
The KTP project is actually something I would recommend for all, like for the graduates who are really interested in pursuing a career either in academic or industry, because it would give you like a much more clarity on where you want to be in after the end of the project, and the number of opportunities which actually just comes into you is just amazing. The kind of networking opportunities you get, the number of people you get to meet throughout your project time, it's just amazing. So if I speak about myself, like with the help of the KTP, the dedicated budget and subsidized and stuff like that, you are get to register with organizations which like is actually from your field. So I'm actually registered with Institute of Materials, Minerals and Mining as an associate, and also with Institute of Concrete Technology, which is actually really nice, you know, like for your professional journey. So it's like the whole idea of KTP is not only to deliver the project, but it's also about your career development and your personal journey. I think it's like quite a transition which you experience of, you know, like being a graduate to become like a professional. That's actually really amazing, and it's really good that you get to experience it. And the working environment is actually something which is very important. I think I'm so grateful that I have such a wonderful company and a wonderful, you know, academic supervisors to support me and push me throughout my journey. So I'm really grateful, and I definitely would recommend graduates to go for it and have a wonderful journey. It would be really good for them.
I love that so much, and I guess with everything you said so far, is it fair to say that the program's lived up to your expectations?
Oh yeah, definitely. But I really didn't know how it was actually gonna go when I started my journey. It's like quite confused here and there, because I really didn't know what kind of expectations my industrial supervisors and the academic supervisors had about me. But I think they did know my limitation,
Okay.
since I was like from a different background. So, but they actually trained me and equipped me with skills, you know, so I could actually get to the par of the performance what they're expecting me to do. And I think from the LMC meetings, which we actually have every couple of months, I understood that they're like quite happy with the work I'm actually doing, which actually really motivates me to like further contribute to much better work than what I'm doing now. So it just keeps on motivating. So the expectation, and if you ask me like if did it actually go according to my expectations, it is actually going well.
Brilliant.
And I feel like it would be going much better in the coming years too, hopefully. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. And have there been any highlights so far?
Quite a few highlights. So the IOM3 memberships and stuff, and the Institute of Concrete Technology membership, that's actually something I didn't think like I would get, but the qualification levels they have explained for getting it over there, you know, as associate membership, it's actually like different. But with experience and being part of the KTP, having both industrial and academic experience, it really helped me to get that post. And then I recently got my selection in the 30 under 30 cohort, which is actually sponsored by Keep Northern Ireland Beautiful. So that journey is also about being like a climate change maker. So being part of it, that's actually like really amazing. I got to see so many people, like 30 people who's actually under the age of 30, all across the Northern Ireland, joining together, holding forces to change and create an impact in the society and for the climate, to create a positive impact. So that's actually what the whole stuff is actually about. So those are the couple of highlights which I had. Yep.
I mean, they all sound really incredible so far. And also just about the skills that you get from a KTP as well. Could you talk a little bit about any of the transferable skills that you've gotten just from your experience so far?
Yeah, so one thing is actually like at the start of the KTP project, we actually had management and leadership training, which lasted for like 2 weeks at different time of the year. So I think that is actually something which is really amazing. Like management and leadership skills, they would be equipping you to like create like a positive impact on your work environment, and automatically without you knowing, you are becoming like a manager or like a leader. Like you're having that leadership qualities within yourself at the end of that training. You don't even realize it, but it's like it's happening within you. And recently had an opportunity to attend the innovation and strategy course, which is actually by the KTN. So it's actually like the mentor group kind of stuff. So it was really good. So the innovation strategy course really was like eye-opening. So the KTP innovation course really just helped you to focus on, the SWOT analysis kind of stuff, like the strength, weakness, threats, and opportunities you have. So it's like really good. You get to know what you're doing and what you want to focus on, where you have to go, and all those sort of stuff. It's just amazing. So yeah.
It's great to hear as well that they're not just dedicated to your professional growth, but also your personal growth.
Yeah,
which is incredible. So all of that leads us actually very nicely on to talk about a little bit more about your development journey, especially in terms of your personal development and the development of your career. So as you've already mentioned, since your involvement in the Knowledge Transfer Partnerships Programme, you've undertaken many career enhancement opportunities. And as we know as well, KTP Associates have a dedicated training and travel budget. Were you able to use any of this for these opportunities?
You're right there, Ola. Like KTP Associates do have a dedicated training and development budget. And yes, I have been using it throughout my whole journey.
Excellent.
So you can actually do it for the courses you want to do. If you want to get accreditations in professional institutions and organizations, you could actually do that. And of course, we have like a dedicated like the KTP office, which actually organize events. Like recently I attended like a workshop which was based on videography skills and stuff, which was really good.
That sounds so much fun.
Yeah, it was really good. We all enjoyed it. All the KTPs who attended that event really enjoyed it. And I think it was before 1 year we had another storytelling workshop that was also really good. It's just amazing, like that's actually what I'm saying. Like you are developing yourself without knowing that you are developing. It's actually really good. That's actually the whole focus of the project. And it's also like the travel budget, you could actually use that budget for your journeys when you're traveling for conferences and stuff like that. That's actually really good. Like I don't think a normal job would actually do that for you. The KTP does actually help you in doing all those sort of stuff, dedicated budget and stuff. So it's really good.
Just so many pluses for doing a KTP here. Have you ever had the opportunity to present your work and your findings at a conference or a seminar or sort of any public forum?
Ooh, I recently had an opportunity. So 11th of April, we had a conference in Birmingham that's actually organized by Institute of Concrete Technology, and I was actually presenting like a poster over there, which was completely like a last minute thing. So I never thought like I would actually present this year, but I was thinking to present in the next year. So many people all across the world actually came there, from people from Dubai, people from France, and all over UK, researchers and postdocs were there. So I presented the work for the poster competition, which was organized by Institute of Concrete Technology students and young professional session. So that they have a separate organization called Students and Young Professional Network. Got the third prize for the poster.
Oh, congratulations!
Oh, thank you so much. But it was actually like completely unexpected, because I was thinking like, oh, of course I'm not gonna get it, because there were so many people over there like presenting their work, and I felt like, oh my god, what I'm gonna do. Like, but I did my best. And it was like people had to vote for it. It was not like they are just gonna select it. It's like people would actually, all the people, there was actually more like 100 or 200 people who came for the conference. So they would actually come in, and you have to talk them through the presentation of like what you have done through the poster. So if they like it, they would vote for you. So it was actually like a voting method.
Okay.
So
You're the
that's
people's choice.
Oh yeah, I was actually people's choice. Yeah. So really, I was really glad to be part of it, and of course won a cash award for it.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, it was really good.
No, I love that so much, and I love that KTP has so many different opportunities as well that you can really get involved in. Again, not just for professional growth, but also for personal development as well. So you've mentioned quite a lot about how supportive the KTP office at Queen's is, and your company and your academic supervisors, which is amazing. But what about your KT advisor at Innovate UK?
He's just brilliant. That's actually him in one word.
Excellent.
So his name is Joel. So he's my KTN advisor from Innovate UK. He is really supportive, because he always like keep me in the right direction. He always wants me to think beyond the project. You know, like he often wants me to like understand and figure out where I want to go after the project and what my career and focus is gonna be. That's actually something he actually helps me to think about, you know.
You could say that Joel's actually helping you to think future.
Oh yeah, exactly he does.
Podcast. So as with every episode on Think Future, we like to end on a note of looking ahead to what these future leaders and change makers envision for the industry, and envision for the industries they work in, and more importantly, the careers that they're mapping out for themselves. So as we mentioned earlier, you are currently only halfway through your project, so there's still a lot left to be discovered and tested and embedded into your company. However, if we look ahead to the potential impact for More Concrete, what value do you believe that the project will bring in terms of innovation, sustainability and competitiveness?
The innovative part is, of course, the sustainability side of things. One thing which I would like to highlight about my company is like we are really early adapters. We like to be early adapters, and we like to implement all the new technology which is actually happening around us, you know, in the research and development side of things. And our directors are like really welcoming of all those ideas. They like to collaborate with universities and everyone who's actually focusing on bringing in new technologies. So that's actually like a very positive transformation which keeps the company going on like for long run. You know, like the vision for the company is to become like a world-class, you know, company. So I think this project would actually help them to achieve that target. It's like I think in Northern Ireland, More Concrete is actually going to be one of the companies who's going to bring the sustainability side of low carbon concrete solutions in like a very large scale, even though there have been a couple of projects which was associated to like similar stuff. But I think More is going to be like one of the like the transitional company which is gonna adapt it, and I think so many different companies are gonna follow it afterwards. But still, so that's actually like a great achievement, I would say. So yeah,
100%. And speaking of the future, actually for yourself, what are your own aspirations for the future, and sort of in terms of where do you want to go in your career?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. Oh yeah, to be honest, I'm still thinking about it. I think I have another 1.5 years in front of me to get more clarity on it. Sometimes I want to be in the research side of things. Sometimes I feel like I want to be in the sustainability side of things. And sometimes I feel like I want to be the industry itself. So I have 3 options in front of me. But I guess right now, I'm going to focus on my project. So I could actually make it happen and make it transformative. So that's actually my current focus is. But I think I'm going to get more clarity by the end of this project for sure.
I love that. No, I feel like the what next question is always really, really daunting. Like, I know it's not too comparable, but seeing me at the end of my uni course right now, I'm a bit like, oh, what to do? But it's great to hear that you've got such an optimistic outlook on all of this. And of course, before we conclude, and potentially the most important question that I'm going to ask you today, especially for our listeners, but do you have any advice for any aspiring concrete technologists or young professionals looking to make a difference in the construction industry?
Well, I would say the world of concrete is not just about the cement, the sand, and stone. There's actually much more to it. Like, my background, just like I said, was from chemistry in Chile, but I realized that when I started to learn more about concrete, there's so much chemistry within the concrete which you can actually relate to. It's so fascinating. It's like the reactions and the stuff you get to learn through it. It's just wonderful. So I would say anyone who want to become a concrete technologist, just go for it, because it's so interesting. There's so many challenges. Like, if you're someone who likes to like solve the problem and like challenge yourself, it's like a very good place for you, because you will find so many uncertainties when you're going through the work. So you would be able to like solve it, go across it, and change and create an impact, and work through it. So it's really amazing. So just go for it if you are willing to become like a concrete technologist, or if you are aspiring to be a person in the construction industry. I think it's just amazing.
Brill. Oh, I love that answer so much. That concludes us today. Thank you so much for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you guys so much.